Welcome back to part 2 of framing questions. In the previous part, we have looked at how you frame a yes or no question using the inversion. Okay, that is question for do as directed. Now in this part, I'm taking up how you frame a question using the question words, which are who, what, why in English, and so on. Okay, this is questioned as question 1D in your board paper. You are given 2. You'll have to do any one out of that, carries just 1 mark. Okay, this will also be helpful for your dialogue question, which carries 4 marks. So it's not like it's just 1 mark, so throw it away. No. Okay, you will have to do this properly because it is also useful for your dialogue. Okay, it will be questioned like this. The main question will be poser une question au mot souligné. Okay, basically you have to frame a question such that the underlined part becomes the answer. Okay, so 3 points you have to remember is we've done inversion last time. Use the inversion after all question words except for the question word key. So the question word comes at the start of the sentence always. Okay, and then you carry on with the rest of the sentence. You will obviously not include the underlined part in your question, right? Because that is the answer. You will have to introduce the inversion for all question words except for the question word key, which is the first one, who. Okay, all the rest take inversion. Do not forget to add question mark at the end of the sentence. If you forget that, that would be a silly mistake, and you shouldn't be losing your marks for things like that. Okay. Now, this last point I want you to understand objectively. If I ask you the question, where do you live? Okay, and you want to say, your answer will obviously be I live in so and so place, right? So your question is in terms of you, where do you live? But your answer is in terms of I live in so and so place, right? So now, if you're given the answer, I live in XYZ place, and you're asked to ask a question, your question will be, where do you live, right? So whenever you're given an answer in terms of je, which is I, right, your question has to be in terms of tu. So when you're giving an answer in terms of I, your question cannot be in terms of I. Your question has to be in terms of tu. Okay, so now you know je and tu don't necessarily conjugate the same way. So the conjugation of the verb may change, and this is something you need to be careful about. Okay, so these 3 rules keep in mind. Let's begin with the first question word. Key is used when the underlined part is a person, because this is the simplest. Key is who. Okay, remember the question word comes at the start of the sentence, and only for key we do not use inversion. Okay, so Jerry a ouvert la porte. Jerry becomes the underlined part here. So it is a person. Straight away put key at the start, and then you will not write the underlined part. Carry on with the rest of the sentence and put a question mark, and that is your answer. Les enfants aiment chanter. The children like to sing. So the underlined part is again a person. Okay. So you replace it with key. The rest of the sentence, bring it down as it is. Question mark, and you're done. Remember, only for key, no inversion is required. Then, Carol a acheté une bouteille d'eau. How will you do this? Carol is a person. So you will put key here. The rest of the sentence will come down as it is, and then you put a question mark. Okay, so key is the simplest question word. Now, the next one is que, is what. Okay, que is what. You will use it when the underlined part is a thing or an activity. Okay, so this is your clue for que. So I've taken the same sentences as the previous slide, but see what has been underlined now. Okay, and see how your question has drastically changed. Jerry a ouvert la porte. Now here la porte is underlined, the door, which is an object, a thing. Okay, so you have to ask, what did Jerry open? Okay, so your question word will come at the start, que. Then now see, Jerry. Remember, for a person, the person will retain its place. You will write the verb also. Then you introduce the correct subject. Okay, the correct pronoun. So Jerry is ill. You put T because of the clash here. And then if there's anything else, write that and put a question mark. You do it systematically, you will not make a mistake. Que Jerry a-t-il ouvert? Okay. Then les enfants aiment chanter. This is an activity. So what do the children like to do? So que, question word comes first. Then this is again a person. You cannot invert a person. So les enfants comes down. The verb comes down, and then you introduce the correct pronoun. So les enfants is best substituted with il. So you write that dash hyphen. There is no clash here, so you don't put an extra t. Okay, and question mark. Now, Carol a acheté une bouteille d'eau. Here you have to substitute une bouteille d'eau with the question. So une bouteille d'eau is a bottle of water, which is a thing. So you will put que. Then Carol is again the name of a person, cannot be inverted. Bring the verb also down. Now introduce the correct pronoun. Carol is a girl, so it will be L. Okay. A and E clash, so T in between. Tel, and then whatever's left, bring it down. Acheté question mark. Okay. Next, comment is how. Okay, comment. So it is used when the underlined part is an adverb. So je marche lentement. I walk slowly. Can you see the underline? You've done adverbs now in depth because you're in the 10th standard. So you should be able to identify if the underlined part is an adverb. Okay. So je marche lentement. Lentement is an adverb, so you will be using the question word comment. So comment comes at the start. Now je marche. Be very careful here. Je marche is I walk slowly. So your question will have to be how do you walk? So je has to change to tu. So do it systematically. First make it as a normal tu sentence. Tu marches will take an extra s because it's an er verb, and then you have lentement. Okay, so now you've converted it to tu. Now you invert this. Okay, so comment comes at the start. Tu is a pronoun, so we invert it. Marche and then tu. Okay, hyphen in between, question mark at the end. Can you see the changes that have happened? Because it's je has to become tu first, change the verb if it has to be changed, then invert, okay, and then put a dash. Karan joue au foot magnifiquement. So now magnifiquement is an adverb here, magnificently or beautifully. So your question will start with comment. Then Karan now is a name, so it retains its place. Keep the verb also where it is. Introduce the correct pronoun. So Karan is a boy, so it will be il. You introduce il. E and I clash, so you introduce the T also, and then the rest of the sentence as it is. Question mark. Comment Karan joue-t-il au foot? How does Karan play football? Okay. Then Seema et Tina ont dansé joyeusement. Excuse me, small spelling mistake here. Seema et Tina ont dansé joyeusement. Joyeusement is joyfully, which is again an adverb. So you will start your question with comment. Okay, now Seema et Tina they are two girls, so you cannot invert person's names. So you will keep that where it is. You will keep the verb where it is. Ont. Now introduce the correct subject. Seema et Tina is two girls, feminine plural will be L. Okay, is there a clash? No, there is no clash. T and E is fine. Then the rest of the sentence and a question mark. Okay, so I'll stop here for now. The remaining 4 question words we'll take up in the part 3 of this grammar topic. Thank you.